Okay, GL's Groendergix says on YouTube, is it worth doing both Doubtful Sound and Milford Sound, or would you skip one? I have about 4 weeks in New Zealand. Which one do you think I should do? All right, so first up, let me just preface with the fact that we do have videos of both. So we have about a 10-minute video of Milford Sound. Actually, we have plenty of videos about all the different things you can do in Milford Sound. And we have about a 10-minute videos about the trip to Doubtful Sound. The main difference that you would find between Milford Sound and Doubtful Sound is the accessibility. There is a road. You can go to Milford Sound by bus. You can go to Milford Sound with your own car, with your camper van. You can go there and actually you will have the time to spend some time here. There is also multiple things to do. There is kayaking, there is cruise, there is scuba diving, there is a lot of hikes. There is you can fly above there, do some air trips and everything. Plus there is probably more things that I just forgot right here. In Doubtful Sound, there is probably only one way to get there, which is to take your car or bus to Te Anau. Then you hop on the bus, then you cross a lake on the boat, then you get on another bus, and then finally you go on the boat, and it's just a 1-2, and you don't have that much flexibility. Your options are that tour that I just described, or a tour that does about the same thing but for about 3 days. So yeah, you kind of have a bit more flexibility in Milford Sound, but there is also more people. Now, Laura, do you want to describe a little bit about which one of them you want to describe? So describe it length and tell him, and I'll do the other one.
Okay, well, let's start with Milford Sound because that is by far the most popular one to visit, but that's mainly because it is the most accessible, and like Robin said, there's many different ways to get there and sort of experience Milford Sound. So Milford Sound there is a road that connects Milford Sound to the town of Te Anau, and then from Te Anau to Queenstown. So because of that, there are a few different bus operators to get to Milford Sound, and you can also drive yourself if you have a car rental or a camper van rental.
Just before you can go in, if you want to find out all your different tours options to go to Milford Sound, we actually have tried a lot of them, and we actually have an article on BackpackerGuide.NZ. So if you go on www.BackpackerGuide.NZ, then you type Milford Sound in the search bar, and you'll find that out, and you'll be able to compare all of them, find the best one for you.
Yeah. So if you are traveling from Te Anau, if you are traveling from Te Anau to get to Milford Sound, it usually takes a couple of hours to get there. But if you are traveling from Queenstown, it usually takes around 4 hours to get to Milford Sound. And all along the way, there's loads of really awesome photo opportunities and walks to do. Many of the bus tours stop at the same walks along the way, all the short ones. There's usually walks that are about 10 minutes long to 20 minutes long. So they're the ones that are accessible for the most people. But then once you've got through the amazing scenic journey to Milford Sound by road, you arrive at the Milford Sound Marina, where there's loads of different cruises to choose from. But they all pretty much offer the same thing. They're about 2 hours long each. They follow the same route around Fiordland, around the fjord, taking you to see Seal Rock, so you're almost always guaranteed to see seals, taking you under Stirling Falls, so you get that experience of a waterfall literally falling onto the boat. So they do offer very similar things in terms of the cruises at Milford Sound. But like Robin said, there's also the option to do kayaking in Milford Sound and even scuba diving, which is pretty awesome. There's an underwater observatory in the area as well. And there's a few different hikes you can do to get different sort of visuals of Milford Sound and different, photo spots as well. That's Milford Sound. So the thing with Milford Sound, the thing to note is that if you're going from Queenstown, it is a full day there and back. If you're from Te Anau, it's sort of half a day there and back. Or you can actually...
No, even from Te Anau, usually you go there for, it's your whole day activity. Okay, if you say half a day, right, that would be, let's say you start at 12 and you just do the afternoon. You wouldn't go from Te Anau to Milford Sound and back just starting around 12 o'clock, right? You wouldn't do just half a day.
Okay.
I personally, it's different kind of opinion, but I think no matter where you start from, it's a full day activity to get there to a cruise and come back.
So maybe a better way to say it is that from Queenstown, it's a super long day. From Te Anau, it's a full day.
It's more bearable.
And then, but then in comparison to Doubtful Sound, Robin's just about to get to, even from Te Anau or from Manapuri, which Manapuri is a town literally about 20 minutes away from Te Anau, where the cruises for Doubtful Sound actually start from. Even from there, that is a full long day experience. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah, so Doubtful Sound it's a similar kind of trek. You kind of have to organize your day, you have to organize your tour, and you can't go on your own. There is no, technically you could if you were to hike through the bush for days and days. There's a story of this explorer, right, that told us during the tour, the guy that did the mapping.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he got lost in the bush for like months. Anyway, so technically you could, but you won't be able to. So you basically go with a company, and for the sake of example, we're going to take Real Journeys, because I think that's probably
and I think Go Orange.
But they're the same company now, I think. So technically it's the same business.
Okay.
So Real Journey, they will take you so you will check into one of the offices, then they will take you onto a bus that will bring you to a boat. You're going to cross a lake, and it's really scenic and really beautiful. And once you arrive there, you are on kind of a dirt roads for about, let's say about 30-40 minutes, I think.
Yeah, maybe about 40 minutes.
Yeah, and you stop along the way and you have some beautiful kind of picture spots. In Doubtful Sound, there is especially a picture spot with a lot of kea birds, which are those cheeky alpine parrots, which are really famous here. And then you hop onto a boat where you're going to be going through a bit of a cruise. So this is where kind of the difference lies between your multi-day in Doubtful Sound and your one day in Doubtful Sound. If you just do your one day, you do a bit of a cruise. At some point, they even shut the engine of the boat and ask everybody to be quiet. And then, you can hear just like the chaos from all the birds and everything around. Yeah. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. And then after you get back, and it's the same trek back. If you stay overnight, you're going to stay on the boat. There's no kind of shore landing or anything like that. You're going to stay on the boat, you have access to kayaks, and you do a few things, and then you get back a few days later. So that's kind of a short description of Doubtful Sound. Now, when it comes to actually compare, when you only have 1 month, as you mentioned, GL, you only have 4 weeks in New Zealand. No matter what, I will only do a one day. I wouldn't stay overnight, and I would try to see more things in New Zealand. So no matter what, I would do one day, either in Milford Sound or in Doubtful Sound. If you're on a budget, you're going to want to go to Milford Sound, because Doubtful Sound is significantly more expensive to go to rather than Milford Sound. If you're after a very unique experience and you want the bragging right, the Instagram shots that you've been to a place where technically only a few people have been there. Yes, there are tours that goes every single day, and yes, the buses are full. But if you consider that it's still kind of a very remote place in the world, right? So there's very rarely places in the world where they only see 100 people a day, and that's basically what I think it is, maybe 100 or 200 people a day. It's pretty rare. In Milford Sound, there is much more people. The good thing with Milford Sound, though, is that it gives you much more flexibility. First up, you can go there yourself. So that means you can have your own schedule. If you are like Laura and I and love having plenty of time to explore places you go to, well, you leave at 4 o'clock in the morning, you arrive there, you're there at like 7 in the morning, and you get the time to do a hike, maybe a kayaking tour, and even a cruise. And you make the most out of this absolutely wonderful place in the world. That, honestly, for the amount of money spending to go to Doubtful Sound rather than actually going myself in Milford Sound, being able to do 3 activities, I would love doing that, and I personally would prefer that. So yeah, if you don't feel like driving and you want to go to Milford Sound, there is also plenty of different bus options, and because there is plenty of bus options, you can find a lot of different prices. So prices are varied between you get some like luxury ones to some really cheap ones. Same for the cruises. You can get some cruise down to like sometimes $49, which is super cheap when you go down to Milford Sound, which is it's a really good it's a really good deal for cruising in such a beautiful place. So you get more options over there. If you are willing to splurge and spend some money, you can actually fly from Milford Sound and do a beautiful tour in the air over there. And actually from there, you will be able to actually see Doubtful Sounds because they're really not too far from each other. They just, there's a lot of mountains and it's hard to do, but with the plane it's super easy, breezy, barely any inconvenience. So if I were to choose right now, I would actually choose Milford Sound just because the flexibility, much more options, and the price as well. And also it will fit in your itinerary much easier rather than if something's cancelled or this and that. So I would choose Milford Sound. What about you?
I would choose Doubtful Sound just
interesting.
Just to be different. But no, I would choose it just because it is quieter. The cruises there are longer. The whole day is just the whole day is a really cool experience. And I would only do it if you are staying in Tiana or I wouldn't do the Doubtful Sound if you're staying in Queenstown because that day would be like crazy long. But definitely I would recommend if you're staying in Tiana to do the Doubtful Sound cruise. And it is a once in a lifetime thing. It's not often that people even get to come to New Zealand multiple times throughout their lives. So to actually go and do the sort of the longer fjord of Doubtful Sound, to have the sort of day trip where there's barely any other, there's no other boats in sight. It just feels a little bit more relaxed and stuff. That's personally why I would go for Doubtful Sound.
All right. So I hope that answered your question, GL. Tell us which one you're going to choose now that, that basically tell us which one of us is right. No pressure. And if you do have questions of your own, put them in the comments below in the live chat if you're watching this live. And make sure to like and subscribe if you find us useful because that's super helpful to us.